Hello and welcome to mufcMPB News. I'm your host Ash Meppers. Let's get into it. As we've been hearing over this past couple of days and for weeks and months really, Sir Jim Ratcliffe was set to finalise his takeover on Thursday. That's not going to be the case. According to Telegraph and James Ducker there over the Telegraph, that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's 25% purchase of Manchester United is not expected to be decided by the club's board on Thursday. His final details are still being thrashed out. Also, Sir Jim plans a rapid shake-up of Manchester United. He wants to get the deal done before the January transfer window. Now, in regards to how he's going to get involved there and how much say and how much control he's going to have, that's what is kind of being thrashed out at the moment. Those little finer, minute details between the Glazers and himself for that 20%, 25% ownership of the club. So we've yet to really see any concrete details in regards to how much control he's going to have, be it over the infrastructure, be it over training ground, transfers, sporting decisions. We've heard this week about Paul Mitchell potentially being brought in, which would be a great acquisition. You've seen his successes with Sadio Mane and Virgil van Dijk and Heung-min Son and Dele Alli, bringing those players through to those respective clubs. Also Nkunku at RB Leipzig. So there's a lot to be optimistic for United fans in regard to Paul Mitchell. Also Sir Dave Brailsford, who is the lead principal of sport at Ineos. Fantastic successes everywhere he's gone pretty much, especially when you look at the cycling team and when it comes to the minute details that he kind of pushes forward with his mantra, his philosophy as a sporting director, a sporting guru. So it's exciting to see coming forward that potentially we could have some changes with United letting go and relinquishing John Murtough, and who's to say what happens with Richard Arnold, but we'll see over the next couple of weeks. And also Sir Jim Ratcliffe's proposed partial takeover is unlikely to be finalised for several weeks. As I was just saying, this is news that's been coming in all day today that we're not there yet. We're nearly there, but we're not there. There's plenty still to be done. We're hearing that he wants full control. He wants full control of the sporting. He wants full control of the team, essentially. We've heard this week that also with Ten Hag, he's happy with him. He's not looking to make a change there. So we'll see what happens in regards to Ten Hag. And you've seen with Patrick Vieira and a few other coaches, Gaultier at Nice, he's quick to bring down the hammer. So if indeed he is being given the sporting control at Old Trafford, how much time Ten Hag will have, well, I'm not too sure. Now, having said all this, boys, make sure if you're enjoying the video and you're part of the mufcMPB community, make sure you hit that like button. Also subscribe. Let's continue on. Sheikh Jassim has been given bidding hope as Sir Jim Ratcliffe's deal for Manchester United is given a new time frame. Now, that's off the back of some key figures inside the deal remaining sceptical that Sheikh Jassim has actually backed out of the deal, that he's entirely withdrawn. So some, apparently, according to sources, according to James Ducker at the Telegraph, there is a belief within the Glazers that there's a potential for Sheikh Jassim to come back in and make a final bid. Now, from their point of view, from Sheikh Jassim's camp, he's come out unequivocally and said, no, the deal's dead. We're not going to be entering any kind of more negotiations going forward. There has been no official statement as of yet from the 9-2 Foundation in regards to withdrawing the deal. So maybe there is a little bit of hope to be held out there for fans that would like to see the Qataris involved. Keep your eye on that. We'll be keeping you up to date with all the latest and freshest Manchester United news. So make sure you're following our X account on Twitter at mufcMPB. In other news, Marcus Rashford got on the score sheet last night as England went out to a 3-1 victory against Italy in the qualifiers for the Euros. Fantastic goal scored by Marcus Rashford. You saw also late in that game, he was pressing, he was energetic. We're hoping that he's going to be bringing that back to Old Trafford and potentially against Sheffield at the weekend. So good performance from Marcus yesterday. Fantastic to get on the score sheet. Also, if you haven't seen, Rasmus Højlund got on the score sheet. Fantastic goal, taken first time off the left foot against San Marino. Okay, it's San Marino, and if you look at the San Marino boys, if you've seen anything from that game, they tried to end his career last night. They were going in on him. They were stamping on his toes. They were kneeing him in the back. So hopefully Rasmus comes back off the back of that tough, that kind of that rough fight against San Marino, and he's able to perform and play for us against Sheffield United. We'll see with that, because he came out and actually said that, yeah, his back's a little bit sore, but we've got to wait until the morning, and then he'll be able to know whether or not he feels a little bit stiff or not. So we've got to keep an eye on that, and hopefully our star Dane is back for Sunday. So let's keep fingers crossed. Now, in other terrible injury news, Sufyan Amrabat is injured. He was injured on the Moroccan duty. Also, there was talks that Casemiro was injured earlier this week. Now, luckily, Casemiro played a full 90 minutes yesterday against Facundo Palestri's Uruguay. They lost that game 2-0, unfortunately. But had it been Casemiro and Amrabat out, we'd have been suffering. It would have been a difficult situation for us going into that game on Sunday against Sheffield United. So luckily, we've got Casemiro looking like he's in full fitness. Amrabat, we're yet to see the time frame of when he'll be back. But again, keep up to date. Make sure you're following X account, mufcMPB. Will give you all the latest news in regard to that. Continuing on in the injury news, as has been the story pretty much with United all season, Tyrell Malacia, his long-term absence is because he's recovering from surgery after a knee injury. He sustained the injury last season, and Manchester United initially looked to manage it with pain injections, but surgery was required. We heard this before. We heard this with Lisandro Martinez, did we not? He had his surgery for his metatarsal, comes back from healing from the first injury, gets pain injections into his foot, and then he had to go and have another surgery on his right metatarsal. So the Manchester United medical team, medical staff there, it's been pretty much the same medical staff since 2012. It's indicative of how the Glazers have run the club over the years, and it's something that you'd hope that with the potential ownership of Sir Jim Ratcliffe, that he brings his Ineos team, his physical, his nutrition team. You've seen with Sir Dave Brailsford that he's all about nutrition, he's all about fitness, he's all about the top conditioning. So I'm excited in regards to them bringing in their entire team with in regards to physicality and stuff. So I'm really hopeful with that. So hopefully in the next 18 months, we'll see a massive improvement with that. We're yet to see. Again, that deal's not finalised yet. We'll see over the next coming days. And also, in other news, Mitchell van der Gaag is open to becoming the new Ajax manager. He's happy as an assistant at Manchester United, but could be convinced by Ajax. I can't imagine he would turn down the role. The chance to take on one of the premier teams in Holland, for a Dutch man himself, that must be, screaming at him for him to want to go. Now, Van der Gaag's been with him now for a few seasons, so he's someone who he trusts, so that'll be a complete whole new process. Whether he promotes from within, that'll be something we'll have a look at, and we'll have a see over at mufcMPB, and the potential for other coaches to come in. We've seen in the past with Robin van Persie was offered the role. We've seen in the past Ruud van Nistelrooy. So whether we explore any of those options or a past former player, it's going to be interesting. But again, something that Erik ten Hag's had to deal with, on top of the many issues he's had to deal with while he's been a manager at Manchester United. You got to feel sorry for the man. I mean, you want him to just be able to focus on the football field and focus on his team, but he's just not. I don't think he's had a clear 2 months to be able to just focus on his football team without something going on in and around the background in regards to board level. You've seen it with Ronaldo, you've seen it with Maguire, you've seen it with Sancho, you've seen it with Greenwood, you've seen it. I mean, the list is endless. Anthony, we could go on and on and on. The ownership. We just want to see him being able to focus on the football field and get those results that all those United fans are hoping and desired for over the next couple of months, and get us back close into contention. Having said that, we're only 5-6 points off Arsenal and Liverpool after this disastrous start to a season. So there's potential to claw back some points in the next couple of months. So we'll see where we're at the end of the year, coming into the full ownership of, the potential ownership and full control of the sporting side of things with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. But any news in regard to what's going to be happening with Manchester United, this is the place. mufcMPB. Make sure you follow it. Make sure you like it. Make sure you're doing all that kind of good stuff. I've been your host, Ash Meppers. Thank you very much, and Take care. Bye-bye.